Hi everyone, looking here at the dollar index, and we'll start with the daily chart today and then move higher. We went into this range and we're looking for a good breakdown out of the range. What happened now is we've had that good break, and to see what a good break looks like, see here we had this one-day close on Wednesday. We closed lower. However, it was a somewhat bullish candle following a rejection of the 79 the day before. We came down, we came up, then we came down. We tried to rally still on the close, then we came right back up, and this day here was really make or break. This is Thursday. Really make or break, and notice that we closed very indecisive, and we also closed outside of the range that we did manage to close back in it, and then now we've had a good solid close down towards the lows, and this is significant. This is good. Now we've closed down below 79 on two occasions. We've got an indecisive candle followed by a bearish candle. We've got price making lower lows, convergence on the indicators with the MACD and RSI making lower lows as well, and this is really setting us up for a push back down towards the bottom of the monthly range. So coming down to the monthly range, this is down around 75. We've been down here a number of times already, and we're looking for price to come back down and retest somewhere down around that level, and there we will assess as it gets closer to that whether or not it's likely to find support or whether it's likely to break down through it. For now this could be some time away before we get there, but for now my probability would be based on the fact that we're likely to have a bounce off it. It depends on a number of things. It depends on the price action as we get down towards it. If we got there quickly, i.e. if we got there this month, then I'd definitely be expecting a bounce because we'd be oversold. We'd have sold off too fast, too quick. For now though, we just need to wait and see how it gets there, but certainly I'm expecting a push back down towards that level. It might be a nice slow steady trend where we just continue to make lower highs, lower lows. That might give more probability towards a break when we get there, but we just have to wait and see. So looking at that, daily looking bearish, monthly looking bearish, and even coming to the weekly chart here, having pulled back. We discussed these Fibonacci levels last week, having pulled back into that sweet spot of the 50 to 62% pullback, consolidating around there. The bodies of most of the candles were in that sweet spot zone for most of a number of weeks, and now breaking down significantly. This is really looking like coming down and testing at least these weekly lows around 76, and that is where we'll find the first bit of support. And then coming all the way down more like the kind of 75 level, which is more pronounced down around here and based on a monthly chart. So 75 to 76 is really where we're looking at for the next area where the dollar index is likely to find some support. Let's have a little look at some of the spot currencies just to see what's going on. Dollar Swiss was one of the ones we looked at last week. And dollar Swiss, similarly as well, this weekly chart now looks very, very bearish. In fact, it looks like it's a different style chart to what the dollar index is, but nonetheless, having pulled back in, small red candle, breaking down through the low of that red candle, is projecting another move down. So I really like to look at that weekly chart. And the daily chart really tried to push up last week on Thursday, but followed by another down day on Friday. It really set the scene this week if we can break down through those lows. At the moment, though, definitely looking bearish on dollar Swiss. Let's come to dollar CAD because this is still my preference as far as a more obvious trading opportunity goes. And here it's because we keep on rejecting this 1,000 level. So we've come down, we came up, rejected 1,000, had a leg down. We've come up, we've just rejected that parity figure once again, and we're starting another leg down. Even here, the weekly having come right back into that moving average sell zone and now projecting a move down. So dollar CAD looking very bearish and backing up that dollar weakness. And equally, if we go and look at the major weighting in the dollar index, which is euro dollar, and just have a look at this, this is really broken up here out of a significant range. And if we just draw a line on where this range, the top of this range was, it's broken up through here, and it's looking very, very bullish. In fact, for a couple of days there, it didn't look so bullish as it really tested, failed, hovered around there. But then Friday's close, very significant, really sticking with that dollar weakness theme, looking very strong. And this weekly chart having now put in, even though we came down and actually made a slightly lower low than this previous one here, what we've done now is still, based on the longer term trend, we've still made higher lows than these previous lows. We've now broken up through here. The daily trend is broken out of the range and is looking like pushing up, therefore here projecting a break up above this high as far as simple trend analysis goes. So there, the dollar looking very weak, the euro looking very strong. Actually, my preference here, where I really think that the best trade opportunities might come from, is actually on cable. And the reason is I think that GBP is a bit more of an underdog, and again it's got a significant weighting in the dollar index. And just looking at the pound here, I think really this could be pushing up with the dollar pushing down. And the reason is just simply that if we look at this compared to the euro, the pound really is the underdog. The pound has had this good sell-off and hasn't recovered to anywhere near the extent the euro has. The euro's already had a pretty good recovery. The pound is only just starting to find its base down here, and I'm looking for a pretty good recovery there on the pound over the coming time as long as the US dollar continues down. So coming back to the dollar index, and just to wrap things up, pretty much seeing a good theme across the major partners here, that the dollar is looking weak, and the dollar index just confirming that, which is really the way it should be. Dollar index there looking bearish, everything backed up by the euro, backed up by the pound, backed up by the Swiss franc, backed up by the Canadian dollar. The US dollar just looking weak across the board. So at the moment, there'd have to be a pretty big move for this view to change. This looks very, very bearish, looks likely to continue. And even though we may trend down, that means even this daily chart could pull back at some stage towards its moving average zone. I'm very much looking for a move back down towards the 76 to 75 range at the lows there on the dollar index over the coming days and weeks. And as we get down towards that level, that is where I'll reassess and decide whether or not I think price will break downwards through that level and continue lower, or whether or not we'll stay within that monthly range and have another bounce off that support level.